I welcome you all back to the channel once again. As usual, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please I recommend you to do so. All right, so today we want to talk still under Segnale di Pericolo. There are few topics we need to treat and subtopics we need to treat under Pericolo, and we are good to go. All right, so today we are going to talk about Passaggio a Livello. So Passaggio a Livello is nothing like what we are seeing right here. Okay, so these are the things we see at Passaggio a Livello. Passaggio a Livello is simply you want to try you want to cross on a railway line. So there is a railway line, but we vehicles and motor vehicles and more, we pass on the railway line. Okay, so we need to be very cautious and atento so that we don't have accident or we don't get crashed by trains. All right, so Passaggio a Livello, we have at Passaggio a Livello we have some few things we need to understand. So we have Passaggio a Livello con barrieri. So when we say barrieri, it simply means that we have this bar. You see this long bar right here, and we have Passaggio a Livello as semi-barriere. So this is a semi-barriere. You see right here we have semi-barriere as well. So it doesn't cross all the road, so it is just metastrada. And we have Passaggio a Livello proprio senza barriere. So you can see that here we don't have any bar or anything that crosses the line. So we are going to look at them one after the other. Okay, so if you see Passaggio a Livello con barriere or semi barriere, the first thing we will see before getting to the Passaggio a Livello is that we will see this triangle here with the bar inside. Okay, so this one varies for both the Passaggio a Livello per barriere and the semi barriere. So if you see this one, then you see what we call panello distanziometrici. This panelli right here, panello distanziometrico, tells us that at 150 meters ahead of you. Okay, so this one we read it this way: any one red line is a 50 meter. So this red line here is a 50 meter, 50 meters. This two line is 100 meters. These three lines varies for 150 meters. So if in case we see this one right here, it tells us that okay, 150 meters ahead of you, there is a Passaggio a Livello con barriere or semi barriere. If you see the two lines here, right here, it tells us that remaining 100 meters for you to reach a Passaggio a Livello, where you need to be very cautious. You need to take attention. Here we have only 100 meters ahead of us. We have, which is 50 meters ahead of us. We have Passaggio a Livello, either con barriere or semi barriere. All right, so this is the written on ground. This PL means Passaggio a Livello. So it varies for both barriere, the semi barriere, and senza barriere. Here it is not written, but in another thing we can still see. But I tell you that even in senza barriere, there is a written on ground PL Passaggio a Livello. All right. So when we get to Passaggio a Livello con barriere, we will see this luci fissa. Okay, so luci rosa fissa, that tells us that before this one will get when we see the luci rosa fissa, it means that it don't lampeggia, it's fixed. Okay, so you see this alarm here that like a siren or a bell that will ring before the that will alert you. It will prompt you that the bell is about to close. Now this bell will close, the red light is on, okay, and the train will pass. Okay, so the same thing for the semi barriere, nothing changes. Okay, so there will be Here, over here, we have the luci rossa ma lampeggiante. So this one will get on, off, this one on, off. So alternativamente, like you see right here. So at passaggio a livello semi barrieri and even senza barrieri, right here, we will see the luci rossa lampeggiante. Okay, when the light is alternating, even for senza barrieri. But for passaggio a livello con barriere, the pieno barriere, we have luci rossa fissa. Okay, so in all what this thing is telling us that take precaution, be very cautious, be very attentive. Okay, don't, even if you are here and maybe if you broke inside here, you can even force yourself to break this thing and move out. However you can get out, you get out, but make sure you don't get yourself inside here. Stop at the inside this white margin, at the stop margin, when you see the red light, and wait for the train to pass. When the train has gone away, this bar will raise up, then you go your way as well. So this is it for Passaggio Olivero. Now there's another thing we need to understand. So we have talked about Passaggio Olivero con barrieri and semi barrieri. They are the same thing. Okay, even all right, so you see the red light is on. People have parked here waiting for the train to pass before they go their way. Okay, so this is Passaggio a livello con barriere pieno. You can see right here. So dopo il segnale si può trovare un dispositivo di acustico che avverte della chiusura dei barrieri o semibarrieri. So this is the segnale di acustico. This sign, this bell here, you see it ringing, then you wait for the train to pass. All right, so let's look at passaggio a livello senza barrieri. So passaggio a livello senza barrieri is basically, you know, this one you only need to take a lot more precaution because there is no bar, you can find yourself inside there. All right, so if you see this train here, okay, this tells us that there is a passaggio a livello senza barrieri. So at 150 meters ahead of me, I saw this and he told me that Rose, 150 meters ahead of you, there is Passaggio Olivero. In this sign inside tells me that senza barriere. So 100 meters, I was going to Passaggio Olivero senza barriere, and here 50 meters, I was at Passaggio Olivero senza barriere. Now we want to talk about something more that is called Croce di Sant'Andrea. All right, so you can see here we have the Croce di Sant'Andrea. All right, so what is Croce and Passaggio a livello? You see PL, so PL is all everywhere, Passaggio a livello, but this one is senza barriere, and we saw the Croce di Sant'Andrea. Now, the Croce di Sant'Andrea that you know, this is Croce di Sant'Andrea. Okay, so the Croce di Sant'Andrea is nothing more or less like this red angles you see here. Okay, so what does this tell us? So if I see the Croce di Sant'Andrea, we see it only in Passaggio a livello senza barrieri. So if it is one, okay, only one, it tells me that there can be only one binario, the track line. So I can here it can pass only one train at a time. Okay, so not maybe only one from my right hand side or only one from my left hand side. That is all. This tells me that okay, it will be passing only one train at a goal. And if I see the two Croce the Sant'Andrea, it tells me that there are two or more binary. So be very more cautious and attentive because trains can be passing from either from the right side or from the left side. Okay, so be more cautious and more attentive. So that is what Croce di Sant'Andrea tells us. So here, like I told you, you see the luci rossa lampeggiante, you hear the siren when the train, before the train will be passing. Okay, so what you need to do, if you see this red light, you need to stop here, wait for the train to pass, then you're good to go. Yeah, so that is it. You see the Croce di Sant'Andrea, only one binario. The red light is on, it's lampeggiante. We need to stop inside this line here for the train to pass before we can go our way. Okay, so Lucio, let's say if there are few other things to talk about. Um, all right, so I think a lot is said already, and there is nothing more about Passaggio Livello. So we have clarified everything. If I want to do a recap on this, we have Passaggio Livello, like three of them: the barriere and the senza barriere, the semi barriere and the senza barriere. This is the senza barriere. With senza barriere, this is what we will see that indicates that a senza barriere, and we have the PL already always written inside. What we need to do in Passaggio Olivero is to take more precaution, more attention, waiting for the train to pass before we go, and so that we don't find ourselves blocked inside. And in case you find yourself blocked here, you can use any strategy. You can find people to push your car out, or if you cannot push, if you need to break this thing over the bar, you should break it, and find yourself to move out of the railway line. Okay, so that is it for and we have this panelo that I said it indicates at 50, 100 and 150 meters. Okay, so be very attentive of this sign here, because this triangle and the bar inside means it is a barriere or semi barriere. The one with the train inside means it is a senza barriere. Okay, so that is it for Passaggio Olivero. See you in another lesson. Thank you.